episode 2. Why are adult friendships so hard? Hey, friends. Welcome back to Connectedness. I'm Fernanda, your host and founder of Filled Cups. And this is a place where we talk about the magic and the mess of being human together. Today, we're driving into a topic that so many of us quietly struggle with, which is adult friendships. Why does it feel like making and keeping friends as adults 10 times harder than it was when we were in school? Why does we should hang out sometime often turns into never? And if you ever felt lonely, even when your calendar is full, or if you wondered if you are the only one having trouble building close friendships, you are so not alone. In this episode, we'll talk about why adult friendships can be tricky, but some myths that make it harder, and I'll share some tangible, doable tools for building the kind of friendships that actually feel nourishing. So let's get to it. When was the last time you made a new friend? Like a real friend? When I moved to Chicago from Kansas in 2008, I didn't know anyone in Chicago. I had to make new friends all over again. At first I tried approaching neighbors or other parents in my kids' school, but I felt coldness coming from them. Like they didn't need more friends and definitely weren't interested in me as a friend. Today, we're getting real about why adult friendships can be so tricky and what you can actually do to make them easier. This struggle is very common and it's not a personal failure if you are having trouble making friends. The core reason friendships are harder than adulthood. One reason is that we have fewer natural, quote unquote, friendship incubators like school, college, or clubs. We have very busy schedules like family commitments and careers. We're afraid of vulnerability and rejection. If we've been rejected in the past or hurt by friends in the past, we're afraid of opening ourselves up again. People move states or countries or go through life transitions like having kids, getting married. There are prevalent cultural narratives that prioritize romantic relationships over friendships. So, back to that story about Chicago. I ended up making friends with a couple of coworkers. We got to a point where we were hanging out outside of work at each other's houses and going to happy hours together. They were great, and I was really attached to them as friends. But both of them moved away from Chicago within a year. So I was back to square one. On New Year's Eve of 2009 into 2010, I was a divorced mom with two elementary aged kids. My kids went to spend the holiday with their dad, and I had zero plans. I had no friends and nothing to do for New Year's Eve. I'm from Brazil, and if you're familiar with Brazil's culture, New Year's is a huge holiday in which we typically ring in the new year with friends and family, and we put our intentions and wishes into the incoming year together. I ended up deciding to go out and see a movie at night, and I spent midnight at the movie theater. I watched Avatar. I remember thinking to myself, my resolution for 2010 is to go out there and make friends outside of work. Put myself out there, take risks. Next year, I want to be celebrating New Year's with other people. So I joined a few friend groups on meetup.com. I went to a few events and some of them were super awkward. Some of the people were nice and we even exchanged contact info, but nothing ever came of it. I had never had trouble making friends before, so it was strange. Like, why was it so hard now? I continued to force myself to attend meetup events. One Thursday evening, my kids were with their dad and I had nothing to do. So I went to a French conversation group that was meeting at Panera in the suburb next to mine. I had very little interest in practicing French again, but I figured since this is a language I knew, I might as well use it to meet people. I'm so glad I went because that group had very nice people from other countries who were welcoming, warm, and had good conversations in French. For the first time in a while, I felt like I belonged. We all had something in common. We all spoke French, and we were from other countries. This group met weekly, so I made a habit of going every Thursday. Whether I had the kids or not, and if I had the kids, I brought them with me and they did their homework while I was participating in the group. Soon, someone from the group hosted a house party, and it happened to be my birthday. So we celebrated my birthday together among this group of people who were mostly new friends to each other. As the rest, like they say, is history. We continued to meet weekly, hosted house parties on a monthly basis, including at my house, and we hung out as often as we could. To this day, I still have very, very good friends from that French group. So, why was going to the French group successful? Did I just get lucky? Was it a fluke? There might have been some luck in it, but there was also intentionality, regular attendance, and something in common with the other people. So let's break down some of the myths about friendships. Myth number one is that friendships should just happen naturally. Well, not always. I think it can happen naturally in school or in work environments in which you have daily exposure and proximity, but in real life, outside of those environments, it might not happen as naturally as one would expect. Myth number two is if someone really wants to be your friend, they'll make the effort first. Now, let's unpack that. Why would they need to make the effort first? Why can't we both make the effort? Or why can't I make the effort? If both of us believed this myth and neither of us made the effort, then we're left not making friends with each other. Myth number three, it's too late to find deep friendships. Listen, it's never too late, okay? I've made friends with two gentlemen in my Spanish group who are in their late 70s and they're awesome. Friendship takes intention. Here are some tangible tools for building adult friendships. We need to shift some of our mindset. We should see friendship as a practice, not as a lightning strike. We can reframe rejection as redirection. So if somebody isn't for us, if they don't want to hang out with us, no worries. That's fine. We're not their people. They're not my people. We can find other people. Okay? And then here are some practical tips. Let's start small. We can do consistent micro interactions that build trust. We can follow up. Don't let like we if you meet somebody and they say, we should hang out sometime." Okay, let's make a plan right now. Well, you want to hang out next week? What time works for you next week? Join spaces with shared values or interests. Like for example, if you're in Charlotte, you could attend the Filled Cups event and meet people who are there to make friends. That's already one hurdle overcome. Or you could also do Meetup or Facebook and pick an activity that you're into. Worst case scenario, you're going to have fun doing that activity. Be the initiator. It's not clingy, it's caring. Okay? And then, integrate your friendships into your daily life. You don't have to be going out to dinner and coffee or to the bar or to the movies. You can simply go for walks, run errands together, um, even coffee breaks, whatever. It doesn't have to be something that takes money. My friend Danielle and I became friends because she came to my Spanish group one day and I had seen her at salsa dancing the night before. And after talking for a bit, she actually put her intentions out there. And she said, "I want to make a good girlfriend here in Charlotte." So for me, it was so easy. It was like, "Oh, great, let's do this." And we set up time to go for coffee, one on one, probably the week after. And, we've been friends ever since. So just to recap, making and nurturing real friendships as adults can be hard because of our busy schedules and life circumstances, but they are possible if we act with intentionality and commit to repeated exposure. We can be the initiators of friendships, and friendships don't just happen naturally. It takes intention and follow-ups. How about we all do one small friendship action this week? If you have someone's number that you'd like to become friends with, text them and make plans to go out for coffee. Listeners, please share your stories on the Q&A for this episode. You can comment here on the comments or you can send me a message on Instagram at filled.cups. Reminder that connection is a skill that we can all practice. All right, friends, that's our conversation for today. If there's one thing I hope you take away is that there's nothing wrong with you if friendships feel hard. Our lives, our schedules, our environments, they're all changed. But connection is a skill that we can practice at any age. Your tiny challenge this week, reach out to one person you'd like to get closer to. Send them a text, invite them for coffee, or share a small moment from your day. Don't wait for the perfect time. The magic often starts in the messy moments. If you try this, I'd love to hear how it goes. If you can share your story with me on Instagram at @phil.cups or through the link in the show notes. I might even read it on a future episode. Thanks for listening and thank you for being part of this space. And remember, connection grows when we show up for it. I'll see you next week.